Jonathan Stong.
Big hit.
My brother, how are you?
Great to see you. I'm glad we're here together in Germany.
So, well, I'm just going to talk about that. So here we are, knee deep, halfway through season 3 of our podcast.
Whew, it's going by too quick.
So you think about this, Jonathan. We've been in Las Vegas. We've been in Myrtle Beach. We've been in Indianapolis. We just wrapped up an episode in Raleigh at our distributor seminar.
Fantastic.
And you kind of already spilled it, but we are officially worldwide.
We're international, baby. We're taking it to the streets.
The fueling station is now global. Here we are at the UNITI show in Stuttgart, Germany. I'm Ed Kammerer, my friend
Jonathan Stong. Good
together. We are the Pod-troleum Guys, coming to you live in Germany. Can you believe that, John? We get to do this all over the world.
We have the best jobs on the planet. And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people would love to be in our shoes because we get to see so many different things from so many different people, so many different languages, talk with the friends. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is, obviously, petroleum equipment is petroleum equipment.
Anywhere you go.
No matter where you go. But, things are still a little different, the way they do things, a little different at this show. Obviously, most of our listeners, are in North America and used to the PEI NAC show.
Sure.
So this is the UNITI show. They actually have it every 2 years, but it's basically the European PEI NAC show. You see a lot of the same manufacturers, but you see a lot of different manufacturers that we don't have in North America.
And a lot of different technologies.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, our goal is to pump fuel safely, but they do things a little bit differently here.
They do.
It's kind of interesting.
Just like you said, I think at the end of the day, everyone's looking to do the same thing. It's just going about it differently. This is, from what I've seen, just on the short take we've been here, it's more of an industrial-based show. I mean, of course, we're in the retail applications, but things are done, like you said, differently here. We're seeing different products, different applications. We're moving into the civil works of things versus just regular retail fueling. But again, like you said, keeping fuel flowing safely is the key at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey, all kidding aside, walking around, it's been very interesting. A busy show, which is great. We've talked about this every trade show that we've done this year, whether it's in Las Vegas, Myrtle Beach, or here across the Atlantic in Germany. These shows are busy.
Yes, they are.
The industry is strong.
No signs of slowing down.
No signs of slowing down.
Regardless of where you are, people want to make sure that they're getting safely somewhere, that they're fueling up properly, whatever that source of energy is, and they're doing it responsibly.
Yep.
So in other markets where EVs may make sense, there's another market adjacent to it that petrol is the dominant player. So just as you said, look, we've got to be looking forward. We've got to make sure that we're doing things the right way. And people at this show have the same interest as they do as the show back in the States, and that's just to do things properly the first time.
Absolutely. And speaking of doing things, if you notice, one of the things, and we've talked about this in the past, because people back in America want to know, hey, is there a lot of difference between a gas station in Europe versus a gas station in the U.S.? And the nozzles are different. We make a specific nozzle for the European market. Most of our systems in the U.S. are pressure systems.
Yep.
The majority of the systems here are still suction systems. The smaller footprint of the stores, the dispenser technology over here kind of developed around suction systems versus pressure systems. What else do you see, kind of the things that stick out to you as a difference between a U.S. gas station versus a European gas station?
Well, I think one of the first things you hit on is the size, the magnitude. Space is limited here in Europe, for expansion, for the infrastructure, versus the United States. Bigger, better, stronger, right? That's how we are. It's Texas for 50 states. That's what the U.S. is. But here, they've got to have the ability to put systems together that are compact because they don't have that room. So that changes the technology and the engineering design basis of the underground fueling systems, and that mitigates any issues long-term that they have. But that's why technologies are different here than they are in the States, you know? And I think we have incorporated some of these technologies into our programs back home, but it makes sense here, and that's what we have to look at. And you have to be open-minded to doing things differently as long as you're not compromising integrity.
Yep.
And I think that's what this part of the world is doing.
Exactly. So, the one thing that we love about coming to the shows is we never know who we're going to run into as a surprise guest. And I see someone walking around right now. I see our good friend, Denis Pokrovsky. Let's grab Denis and see what he has to say about the show.
I think that's a great idea. We're going to love speaking with him.
So we're here with our good friend, our colleague, my comrade, Denis Pokrovsky. Denis is the Director of Sales for EMEA. Those of you scoring back home, EMEA stands for
Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
There you go.
It's a big territory, my friend.
Absolutely.
A lot of responsibilities.
It's a big territory around 82 countries, and in most of these countries we're actively present,
So Denis, tell us, you've been in this industry a long time. Anything that you kind of noticed specifically in the EMEA region, any changes or how do you see the industry, shifting or, what's the state of the industry in your eyes?
Yeah. Well, retail fueling industry has been very dynamic, since probably the beginning of that industry itself, with a number of cars growing, internal combustion engine cars growing.
Sure.
With the population growth in some areas we're operating, that market will continue being hectic and dynamic, which is very good for our company.
Well, one of the things we've heard a lot about is like a maturation of the retail market because, there's been a lot of growth here, like you said, in EMEA, but it does show almost zero signs of slowing down. Yes, the infrastructure is mature, but you're going to have to take care of these systems for many years to come. We're going to be pumping volatile organic fuels for many years to come. So we got to make sure that these stations are sustainable, that they're up to par, that they meet certain codes. And I've seen technologies, Ed talked about it on the introduction for us. What do you think adjacent markets that we could utilize these products in could help, expand the knowledge base of our industry? What other applications do you think the products and systems you sell make most sense?
Yeah. So we see that petrol mixes, again, diversifying over the last years. The customer is becoming more demanding in terms of the green change. So we're seeing new clean energy fuels coming in. We're talking about LPG, CNG, hydrogen, different new fuel grade mixes in our market. So the customer is becoming more demanding. The technology is becoming more complicated, more diversified, and basically new technologies are coming in, So the OPW has got the full suite of products accommodating all these needs, all these customer needs across all the different fuel segments. And you're right, I mean, the market is getting mature, but on the other hand, the market is constantly evolving.
Yes.
Not only in terms of the size of the market, but also in terms of demand.
What I've seen here is the customer base is becoming more educated. They're becoming more familiar with what the options and varieties are. And I think that aspect of it really propels what we need to do. And the bar is set even higher from a manufacturing standpoint to exceed the expectations of the marketer. Because again, energy and education travels quickly.
Sure.
Communication now is instantaneous. So people are seeing what's going on in other parts of the world. And I think moments like this are crucial for our team that, or legally, where Ed and I deal with every day. And speaking with individuals like yourself helps us not only design products for the future, but also gives us a little more perspective about what consumers are wanting.
Sure. John, the part of our job is not only to sell, but also to educate the customer.
Yes.
That's what we're doing, the distributor events. That's what we are participating in the shows like this. That's where making our, sales tours around all the countries of presence, educating the customer. So the more educated the customer is, the better for OPW and for Dover. We are promoting advanced technologies. We are promoting complicated technology. So first of all, the distributor is at the front line of this education. So definitely I agree with you. So we need to educate customers more, and customers are becoming more educated.
That's right. I'm glad we're all on the same page. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, you're right. Customers are smarter. The technology, they need to be, right?
Absolutely.
Because technology is evolving, and for these retailers to be competitive and still sell fuel, they need to change with the times as well and become more advanced and learn the technologies.
I believe that for years to come, for decades to come, the diversified retail fueling industry will dominate the market. It will be a combination of different fueling technologies, including EV chargers and, of course, traditional fuels and new clean energy.
I think it's safe to say, too, with all that being said, Dennis, regardless of the way we convey energy, whatever source we are using, I think Dover is going to be at the forefront of this, regardless of what that technology is, spearheading it. And I think that's important when you look to manufacturers. Who do you want to partner with to safely convey your energy source, your fuel, your electricity, whatever that may be? And I'm proud to be a part of this organization, and I'm proud that we have Thank you, sir. And thank you for the opportunity for us to talk about this and bring your perspective, because this is your house. And we're coming into your house. And the only thing I would say is, I jokingly said to Ed earlier, is if we could just have a little more air conditioning, that's all I get. Because, I've had enough of all the things, but the air conditioning would be key to me. And I guess that's the electricity source that I'm trying to use.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think, where we're going is there's going to be many options for energy and for fuel, right? At the end of the day, we're all still going to need transportation. Our bodies need to be moved from point A to point B, and the fuel that moves us is going to be different. I don't think one thing is going to replace the other.
And
I don't think EVs are going to replace fossil fuels by any means. They'll have their place. Fossil fuels will continue to have their place. The hydrogens, the compressed natural gases, the LNGs, the LPGs.
Yes.
I think it just all provides options, and it's up to the retailer and the consumer.
Sure.
I think a lot of this should not be driven by regulations. It should be driven by consumer habits. What they're willing to pay, the vehicle that they choose, that they want to drive, that's what they should be able to do. But I think at the end of the day, as long as a retailer, as a manufacturer, as a consumer, it's great that there's options for all those different avenues.
Of course.
Fuel.
Of course. And then also to what you just mentioned, Ed, there are still 1.4 billion internal combustion engine cars, around the globe. There are different assumptions. So they need to be fueled.
So we're going to be making and selling nozzles for a long time still. Is that what you're telling me, Dennis? That's what we like to hear, even in Europe.
Great insight, Dennis. Great insight.
Hey, Dennis, thanks for stopping by. We love coming over here. This is a great show. Like we've talked about, it gives us an opportunity to talk to our colleagues and our friends from other parts of the world, getting different perspectives. But you can probably hear the band is warming up in the background. So we may have to kind of wrap this thing up, Jonathan. So again, hey, always great traveling with you. Like I said, we are now internationally known. I'm known to rock the microphone, little rock-based reference there.
I love it.
But the Pod-troleum Guys have officially gone global, international.
The fueling station's going to be the fueling station. Keep listening to us, giving us information, giving us topics to discuss. But at the forefront of this, again, we're going to bring information, unbiased, to make sure you guys are informed.
And the great thing about our industry is we can all be friends. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
All right, so hey, that wraps up another international episode of the Fueling Station. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the year, John. I don't know where we're going next, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting. And I look forward to record another episode to slide in season 3 here as we kind of finish up the year.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate you very much, Colin. Cheers.
All right, I'll see you on the plane heading back.
You got it.